Hello everyone. So we were discussing about the introduction to small business management. So under this, so actually when it comes to an introduction, this is not only a mere introduction. There are a lot of things that you want to know. Most of the students, what they come up with, they are just watching the seminar and they're not listening to these lectures, and ultimately they say that we have not learned that. The thing that I want to highlight is we are not giving anything other than to the sessions what we are conducting. So it's really important for you to listen to all the lectures as well as the seminars, because seminars are basically we are focusing on how we are going to do the examinations and what could be the most focal examination areas. Here we are teaching you all the content, so you would be able to get in touch with and why we are the importance of learning this one, right? So it's really important, the knowing the basics of any subject, whether this is small business management or whether this is another subject. It's important to know the basics. So okay, now we are coming to the second part of this session, this introduction. So we were discussing what are the small businesses management. We define it and we differentiate it, how we are going to recognize small businesses. So when it comes to this large versus small businesses, I just brought up you in the last session as well. Well, this can be different based on the size of the company, whether it is a large scale or a small scale, and the ownership. So normally when it comes to large scales, in most of the time, there are a lot of owners because they are going to go with companies. So they do have shareholders and a lot of shareholders. So it would be bringing up a broader ownership. But when it comes to small businesses, ownership is very narrow. As I told you, it can be just a husband and wife, or maybe with all the children at the home. So likewise, it can be in that manner. And impact on industry. When it comes to large scale businesses, of course, most of the large scale businesses, they are stable in the industry. So if you take a business is a firm inside the industry, right? If it is a garment manufacturing industry, there are a lot of firms, Brandex, MS, Hydramani, Heller Clothing. So likewise, there are a lot of firms within the industry. So the impact of industry for small businesses are really high because they do not have the power to fight with the industry, because almost all the companies are highly stable in the organizations and the industries. So it's really difficult to compete when it comes to small businesses. And the flexibility. Small businesses flexibility actually, it it depends on the leadership actually. Normally, we say the flexibility is high for small businesses because if you want to open the shop today, you open. If you want to close it tomorrow, you close it. So, but you cannot do it with a company because you do have a lot of employees, a lot of capital has been invested, and a lot of people are there to engage with. So, the flexibility is a little difficult. When it comes to decision making, also flexibility is difficult when it comes to companies because you have to get the consent from the all company directors, managers, and you have to discuss with the maybe probably with government, maybe with trade unions. So large scale organizations, this flexibility is really lower when you compare with the normal small scale businesses, because small scale businesses, why the flexibility is high, it has lower number of employees, it has lower number of owners, and even when once the environment is changing, you can quickly come into decisions what's suitable, so in sort of. But it's really based on the leaders skills, experience, and the capacity, because some leaders, they do not like to be flexible even it is small business. Probably you may experiencing it with your parents also. Whatever happens, parents do not want to be flexible in things, so it would be like that. And innovation. When it comes to innovation, actually, small businesses rarely do innovations because it costs a lot. You have to do a lot of research and development. You have to do you have to incur a lot of money for innovations. So it's very difficult for small scale businesses. So therefore, innovation is less when compared to large organizations. Because most of the small businesses, they're thriving to do the survival. They do not want to come up with new things and novel ideas, investing things on research and development, but just to day-to-day survival with a little growth. That's what they expect, most of the organization. And quality. When it comes to quality, actually, it's really important that you want to know the quality level of small businesses also depends. There are some organizations, though they are small businesses, they highly focus on quality. They always think about what we are going to give to our customers. So whether we are going to give a quality product or whether we are going to give a product to a lower cost. But the problem is most of the small businesses, again, they go with a lower quality products and maybe the layout and maybe the company's process and all. Because again, if you need to maintain the quality, you need to invest a lot of money, right? Let's simply think you're manufacturing bags, right? These bags. So you have, if you are manufacturing, think about these kind of handbags, right? If you are manufacturing these kind of handbags, if you have a machines, well quality machines, you can do through this one with the machines. But if you do not have money to incur for all these things, what you are going to do is you start doing with this one with a small machine, but with a lot of human capital. People are there. Manually, you do this. When it comes to doing this one manually, what's the problem? Most of the stitches may be looser, right? So the quality level goes down. So normally, if you do have a proper quality machines and all the other things, your product is also a quality one. If not, it's very difficult to come up with a quality product. So quality is problematic when it comes to small businesses. The next one is customer relationships. When it comes to customer relationship, normally this is also depend with the leadership of the organization, but normally we say customer relationship is higher than larger scale businesses. Because if you take a small boutique in your area, they are directly dealing with these customers. They directly talk to their customers. They get to know what the customers' requirements are, what they are bringing up as new ideas. But when it comes to large scale businesses, the managers, directors, they do not know who the customers are, at least, because it's very much difficult for you to cope up as a manager, as a director. So it's important for you to note that customer relationship is higher in a small business management. But again, as I told you, it depends, right? And lifetime of a small business is really less. Why? It is very much prone to all the challenges which comes from the external environment. Let me show you a picture of a life, this, what do you call it? Organizational life cycle. Organizational life cycle, right? When it comes to organizational life cycle, you can see it goes like in this kind of a curve, bell curve shape, right? It goes like in this kind of a bell curve shape. So at the startup, you can see very less here time, here profits or sales, here profit or sales, here time. So with the time, you have to take a little bit of time to when you come into the growth stage, right? I'm not going to teach you this one, what do you call, the organizational life cycle here. I'm just taking you to show the this life cycle, how it depends when it comes to small businesses. Small businesses, they start up, they quickly grow all the what you call, if you let's think about a new boutique, a new small supermarket that you have opened in your area. All the people are coming to your supermarket, they purchase things, right? Growth is really high because why? It is novel to the area, and the customers are, they also like to know what this business is. So likewise, then what will happen? Then quickly it goes to the maturity stage. Why this happens? Why it goes to the maturity stage quickly? Because by looking at this growth, all the other what you call people who are the nearby people also, they think, ah, this is a very good business. Why don't we start? Only this shop is there. We also start a new one. So what will be happening? They also now starting what we call as new entrants for the industry. Now that's why we call these small businesses are like mushroom businesses. හතු පිපෙනවා වගේ පටන් ගන්නවා. ඒ වගේම ඉක්මනට මේවා මැරිලා යනවා. Right? So mushroom businesses, now they are starting up. Now what will be happening? Now they have to fight with all the mushroom businesses. So the profit goes down, sales goes down. So quickly you are going to go for the decline stage unless if you do not take correct actions for this maturity stage. So as correct actions, what we are doing, we are introducing new products, we are introducing new price variations, we are introducing new promotional mechanisms. So likewise, we have to do new things. Then only we would not be able to go to decline stage and retain in the maturity and the growth stage. But no point of staying in the maturity stage, you have to stay in the growth stage. So therefore, but when it comes to large scale businesses, this is very rarely happening because they are already established companies in the industry. A lot of companies are there still, as they are established, as they do have a very good brand name, they do not want to suffer with all these mushroom businesses. So that's what I want to show you, how the life of a small business. So the life of a small business is comparatively very low, right? But there are some like organizations, if you could see the Alepa Maliban, like they started as a very small scale business, but now they have become large scale businesses. So that is why you need to know about the strategies properly and how we are going to do all these things. It's really important. And when it comes to evaluation and classification of small businesses, it's important that you want to know, right? As I told you, little by little, these organizations are growing. At the first phase, only the manager is the owner, is the manager also, right? Because you don't know. If you think about a shop, right? A normal shop, you start up. So you are the manager, you are the owner also. In this phase 2, you see now that your business is growing. So you have to introduce, you have to get some more employees. So if you are walking in these streets, you may have seen almost always there are a lot of the posters on shops that they are stitched saying, අලුත් සේවිකාවන් අවශ්‍යයි, නවක සේවකයන් බඳවා. So likewise, why? They need more employees when the business is growing. Right? So the first stage 3 would be, now this is becoming a little bit larger, right? Maybe comparatively you are earning good money. Maybe you have come into a good stage that you are not in a position to handle all. So you are hiring a manager in order to look after this one, and you will be overseeing the processes of the business, and you want to hire employees also. You would be hiring new employees. So that's how these businesses are growing. So when it comes to classification of small business, so these businesses can be manufacturing, merchandising, and services. Manufacturing means what? You manufacture things. You know that, right? You manufacture yogurt, maybe. You manufacture garments, maybe. You are into manufacturing. Or there are some other organizations, they are into merchandising, not manufacturing. Think about, I am purchasing vegetables and from a farmer, and I collect and I sell it. That's called merchandising. I'm not into manufacturing, right? Sales. You're more into sales. I'm purchasing goods from a company and I do an agency, merchandising, right? And services, you know, the things what we are doing, right? We are doing here also a service. We are not manufacturing any product and we are not doing a particular sale, and but we do a service, but for the service we are paid. So it's like that. And features of small business in developed and developing countries. So it's important. When it comes to similar features, what are the similar features that you can see with developing and developed countries? In developed countries, independent management is there as well as with developing countries, because as I told you, you are slowly growing. So you have an independent management. You are not forced or bound by the managers' decisions, suggestions, government. So why? You are independent. You are a small scale business. What are the decisions we have to take? So you have to do that. Local operations. What do you do with local operations? So normally you have to understand that locally we do a lot of operations, right, in any business, rather than moving into a foreign country. So all the small scale businesses, they have very limited power to move into foreign business. Why? Business within abroad. Why? A lot of cost, a very good quality should be there, and a lot of competition is there, right? So definitely most of the time you function locally. So let me and they do this one in a very small size manner. Let me show you let me show you a Sri Lankan small business. So there are a lot of things that we can take off. Switch off my video so for then you can see what are the small scale businesses. Okay, what I advise is you should never watch these ones and start up a business, because unless you do not have a knowledge about yourself, how to do a business, do not look into this one, because this is their business. Their business is one. ඉතින් ඔයාලට පුළුවන් මේ business එක කළා ඊට වැඩිය හම්බ කරන්න. Why they tell and stay in the YouTube? Why they waste time to go for YouTube, doing it YouTube? It's not. We'll see. Because now this one, you see, these are small scale businesses. Let me show you several TikToks, then you will understand what type of small scale businesses we do have in Sri Lanka. But if you hope to do small scale business, do not watch this one and start doing, right? Because no one can advise you how to do a small business in a YouTube page, let's say.
So pleased with how these bee sleeves turned out. This is how the box used to look, and wow, it just makes such a big difference. Just looks so pleased with how these bee sleeves turned out. This is how the box used to look, and wow, it just makes such a big difference. Just looks so pleased with how these bee sleeves turned out. This is how the box used to look, and
තවත් පුංචි ව්‍යාපාරිකයෙක්ව ඔයාලට හඳුන්වලා දෙන්න තමයි මේ වීඩියෝ එක මම අරගෙන එන්නේ. ඉතින් ඔයගොල්ලෝ දන්නවා මගේ orders එක මම free gift හැටියට scrunchies එකතු කරනවා කියලා. ඉතින් මෙදා පාර මම scrunchies 200ක order එකක් මෙන්න මේගොල්ලන්ට තමයි බාර දුන්නේ. මේගොල්ලන්ගේ brand name එක කියන්නේ Roo Creations කියලා. ඉතින් සතියකට වඩා අඩු කාලයක් ඇතුළත මට ඉක්මනට මේක මහලා ඉවර වෙලා ගෙදරටම ලැබෙන විදියට සලස්වලා දුන්නා. ඉතින් අද තමයි මේ පැකේජ් එක මට ආවේ. ඉතින් මේ ඔක්කොම මේ ස්ක්‍රන්චීස් හදලා තියෙන වැලන්ටිනා කියන මැටීරියල් එකෙන්. ඉතින් ඒ වගේම මම බල්ක් ඕඩර් එකක් දුන්නේ හින්දා මට හොඳ ප්‍රයිස් එකක් දුන්නා. ඉතින් මහන්සි වෙලා යමක් කරන්න උත්සාහ කරන පුංචි ව්‍යවසායකයෙක් තමයි රූ ක්‍රියේෂන්ස් කියන්නේ. ඔයාලටත් පුළුවන් මේ වගේ අවශ්‍යතා තියෙනවා නම් ඒගොල්ලන් එක්ක සම්බන්ධ වෙන්න. මම පල්ලෙහා ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ WhatsApp අංකය දාලා තියෙනවා.
Let's pack an order. හැමදාම හිතාගෙන ඉන්නවා පැක් කරද්දි වීඩියෝ එකක් ගන්න ඕනේ කියලා.
So pleased with how these bee sleeves
හරි. දැන් ඔයාලට පෙනුණා small scale businesses. Packing, sewing, right? So now you have seen packing, sewing, and doing all these small things. All are into this small scale businesses when it comes to Sri Lanka. So you can see they do local operations, right? They do local operations rather moving into foreign market. So now you see they are in small scale. Of course, small businesses are in small size. And what are the features of small business in developed and developed countries? So dissimilar features. What are the dissimilar features? Definition differences. We do define small scales in different manner. So thus for an example, we normally say if it is below than 50 employees, it is a small scale business, right? So this can be different from country to country. So maybe US, I'm not particularly sure, but maybe the USA may be saying, okay, if it is 200, below 200 only, small scale. Below this much capital, maybe a small scale. So likewise, this can be different. Definition is different, right, from country to country. And activities. Activities are really different. Now, normally when it comes to country like Sri Lanka, we always do things very in a manual manner. Activities are manual, most of the activities. But when it comes to, so still we may be in medium scale organizations. But most of the times in foreign countries, they do things very rarely manual with a lot of machines. So maybe any kind of an activity, this also can be different from country to country, the way how we define small and small scale businesses. And facilities. Facilities also same. You know, when it comes to a small scale business in Sri Lanka, the facilities are really, really less. When the government support, we have to work very harder to take government support for small scale businesses, because normally we do get supports from the government for small scale businesses. But this thing also can be challenging. But when it comes to foreign countries, facilities, you know, even power, infrastructure, roads, everything is really facilitated. So, but when it comes to Sri Lanka, it's really, you know, sometimes it's very hard to take power for rural areas also. So in that kind of scenario, facility is also really challenging when it comes to developed and developing countries. What is the importance of small business? So the first thing that you want to know is the importance of small business is small businesses are providing a considerable percentage for the GDP. Daldeshi Nishpadite හොඳ contribution එකක් දෙනවා. It gives a very good contribution for GDP to bring more dollars to the country. Dollars කිව්වම අපි දැන් මේ දවස්වල we just concerned, right? Bring more dollars to the country, because these small businesses are growing into larger scale businesses. And there are some small scale businesses. Think about cinnamon manufacturing. Small cinnamon manufacturers, they do the cinnamon manufacturing and they give it to a place and they are exporting these things. So it is again we'll see whether we can find a video for this cinnamon manufacturing in Sri Lanka. So it would be cinnamon manufacturing. We'll see. I'm not. So it's small businesses. You can see, I will show you, right? So small businesses, they collect cinnamon, small houses, and they are giving it to little bit large scale organization. I'll show you. Let me share the sound with you.
වෙළඳපොලේ අඩුම මිලකට ඇති ලයිෆ් බොයි තවත් රුපියල් 25 ක ඉතරයක් සමගින් දැන් රුපියල් 160යි.
Ceylon cinnamon is native to just one region of the world, and producing it requires hours of delicate work. Even the most skilled workers can make only a few pounds of quills a day. 1 pound of cinnamon quills can cost $27. But not all spices labeled cinnamon are the Ceylon variety. Many in the Western market are actually cheaper types of cinnamon called cassia. So what makes Ceylon cinnamon so favorable? And why is it so expensive? Ceylon cinnamon is named after the old British name for Sri Lanka, and it is often considered real cinnamon. It is made from the dried inner bark of a tree called Cinnamomum verum. Growing these trees is an investment. Farmers must wait 4 years after a tree is planted before they can begin harvesting. At harvest, workers break down the branches early in the morning when the bark is still moist.
ඒ කියන්නේ උදෙන්ම කපන් ගිය තරමට තමයි ගෙදර වැඩ ටික ඉජහට ඉවර කරගන්න ඕනේ. තව වේලීමත් ගහ හුලං වැඩිවීමත් අඩු වෙන උදෙන්ම කැපුවා. දවල්ට කැපුවම ගහ වේලුම් දෙනවා. ඔකට ගහ අර වැඩ කරගන්න අමාරුයි.
Ruwampura must continuously care for the trees throughout the year. Otherwise, the branches won't be suitable for making cinnamon at all.
ඉන්නේ කරන්න කියන්නේ දැන් ඒකේ ගහ වැඩක් නේ කරතිය විදිය මෝරලා පාට තියෙනවානේ ගහ ඇද්ද වෙලා තියෙනවානේ. ඒව කපන්න ඕන. කෙලින් තියෙන එක තමයි ඉතුරු කරන්න ඕන.
Now what I want to show you is you can see one owner doesn't own all the cinnamon yards, right? So this is done through in a manner small scale business. There are small houses. If you especially go into this Balapitiya area, this Gaul side and all, they do have a lot of cinnamon yards, small houses. And for it's like for everyone, they do have this cinnamon yards. Probably you also may have, right? Cinnamon lands. So what you would be doing, you may have only probably 1 acre or maybe half of acre, but you have cinnamon. You are a small business. You are doing a small business. What you would be doing, you would make into this cinnamon long sticks and give it to a particular place. Then they are exporting these things. So it's important to have small businesses, because the small businesses as a collection, it leads to go for export market and to create a large scale organization also. So especially for now, when it comes to your examinations also, I will be focusing on more why and come up with an example for small business that which highlights the importance to Sri Lanka, right? Why it is important, these kind of small businesses to Sri Lanka. So rather writing all these things, you have to write these things inclusively. If you can provide an example like this cinnamon land, that's what I showed you. So when I showing you things, it would be more deeperly, it would be depositing in your mind. So so you can say how these cinnamon lands and how these cinnamon things can be leading to a very important business to country. So likewise, right? So it encourage innovation and entrepreneurship as said. Right, small businesses. Now you see that video I showed you about that wool bands, like, so they do come up with new innovations and new things, right? It is an entrepreneurial business. It is an entrepreneurial business. So encourage innovation and entrepreneurship. Once they grow, they are growing into large scale businesses. That's the importance, right? So complementary to large businesses. That's what complementary to large businesses means. They support the large businesses, like in this cinnamon, right? So the cinnamon, the small owners of the cinnamon lands, they think about, me as a farmer of the cinnamon, I can produce only 10 kilos of cinnamon, right? So all the houses they are giving 10 kilos to a particular place, so they can export thousands of cinnamon kilos for export market and maybe for local market. So it's like that. It is complementary to large businesses. Flexibility in operation. So as I told you, almost all the small businesses are very flexible in operations because you cannot take decisions easily. You do not want to stuck in decisions while the others give the consent. Now, normally, if it is a large scale businesses, we have to wait until the management and the directors given the consent to proceed with. So it's like that. In many more things, it's flexible. Even if you feel, no, I'm going to change my business tomorrow, you can do that. So it's like job creation. So these small businesses are very important because even you can see now not even currently, normally if you take job employments, it's very hard to take a job. That's why you are doing this degree also. If it is amply available, the jobs, why you are doing a degree? You can just pass the advanced level and join with a good job. But it is not like that. Even with the master's qualification, even with a degree qualification, it's very hard to take a good job. So therefore, and most of the time, most of the people are not educated. They do not have the intention to learn like you. They want just to they just go to school, as parents say. So they stop the education. So can they survive without any job? No. All these small scale businesses, they provide. Now, if you see this landscape, this the cinnamon thing also, that uncle, the one who is manufacturing this cinnamon sticks, it may not, probably it is not a land of it is not a land of his. It may be a land of someone else. So he's just a worker. So likewise, lot of job creations are done through the small businesses, and maintains close relationship with customers and community. So that's what I told you. So these small businesses can create a very close relationship with the customers and the community because they are dealing directly with the customers and the community. But when it comes to large scale organization, it's very hard to deal with the customers by all the directors and managers. Or maybe only the operational level employees are dealing with the customers, right? And stimulates competition. When you have a lot of small scale businesses, it stimulates the competition. Who would be the winner? Who would go a fast run? So likewise, it is also there. So it stimulates the competition and higher financial rewards. It's really important that you want to focus on, once we do have a lot of small scale businesses, it gives you higher financial rewards. That's what I told you. The small scale businesses are contributing to a huge percentage for the GDP because a lot of small scale businesses are there. They bring a lot of money to the country, right? They create this money by doing a lot of different things, because most of the small scale businesses like the batik business, this flower business, cinnamon business, so like these type of businesses, they ultimately focus at the export. They themselves, these businesses not focus, but they, once they complementary to large scale businesses, they would be having a very good financial rewards. Strengths of small businesses. What are the strengths of small businesses? So if you take a small scale business, it is very independent. Once I told you, you are taking decisions at the boardroom, but you change it at the bedroom. Why? Very independent. Maybe only by husband and wife are there for the company. So you can take it, you can change it independent. If you want, you keep it. If you want, you shut down the company. So it's up to you. And innovation. So innovation can be done when it comes to small scale businesses because they know they have to come up with a new thing. Otherwise, they are not in a position to compete with the other companies, large and medium scale businesses. So therefore, independence is innovation. They are more into doing innovations. Responsiveness. So what do you mean by responsiveness? When it comes to responsiveness, now it's like how much you can respond to the changing environment. how much you can respond to the changing needs and requirements of customers and employees. So environment can be internal environment and external environment. Internal environment, everything about culture, employees, managers, everything internally. What is internally happening? Culture in the sense organizational culture, right? Not the mass culture. You can't change it. So if you take the external environment, you can take all the elements of pestle, political, legal, and what do you call environmental. Now, can you change this corona condition? Can you? No. Can you change this economic recession condition? Prices are into a higher price hike. But Mila, where do you know? Where do you know? Can you change it? You can't change. But you can change your business strategies, right? According to the businesses, you can the environmental changes. You can focus into this things, environmental changes. Think about internal conflict with employees, right? Still, you have limited number of employees. You can come into discussion, conclusion, and you can give your support to carry on the organization. So responsiveness is really high. When it comes to employment creation, as I told you, employment creation is really high. Most of the employees, most of the candidates, they are joining with these small scale businesses because there are no more businesses available in the country, right? There are, but you may need a lot of requirements, master's degree, maybe experience. The biggest problem is in joining with large scale organization is always the large scale organizations are asking experience, 5 years experience at least. How we are going to get an experience if you have never been working in somewhere? So this opportunity is created always through small scale business. Small scale businesses, they are not going to get a very big shots. The Dakshaya, they are big shots. They cannot afford with the salaries. They are creating these people into big shots, right? Once they get practice in these small scale businesses, they become big shots. So it's like that employment creation is high. And financial performance. So this financial performance is a strength for small businesses because the ability to control the finance as per the requirement and the need of the owners is very flexible. So therefore, financial performance is really positive when it comes to small scale businesses. As I told you, if you want to close it today, you can close it today. If you want to open it tomorrow, you open it tomorrow. So therefore, likewise, the finance also like that because the owners, they know I am the one who is going to get privileged from all these things. So it's like indicators for measuring success in small businesses. So it's really important that you want to know what are the indicators for measuring success in small businesses. Profit is a one indicator. If you are not in a position to earn profits, so it's an indicator that you are not successful. If you see that you are gaining profits every day, every month, every week in a continuous manner, so it is a way of measuring the success. So the competitive advantage. It's really important that you focus on competitive advantage because when it comes to competitive advantage, we are talking about what are our core skills in order to get a competitive advantage. That's for an example. If you are competing with others always, I'm asking, tell me one of your core competencies. Or Dakshima. You say, I can dance. I'm asking whether you can dance better than others. They then say, I'm good, better than in the class, in the school, but not the whole country. So it's like that. So the competitive, so there are some organizations, you can't say then it is a competitive edge. Then I say, no, it's not your competitive edge. It's your skill. It's not a core competency that which can bring you a competitive advantage. So competitive advantages are, you are very unique. If you can go through with even in internet, Celine Batik. Celine is a lady who started this batik manufacturing in a very small scale manner. Now she's exporting too. She had a competitive advantage of bringing up new ideas. So all the small scale, even Siddhalepa didn't start as a large scale business at once. It was a very small scale business that the Siddhalepa Vidamahatya was selling the Siddhalepa files. File කියන්නේ PHIAL file. File means kuppia. These files home to home, walking home to home. There was a time like that. Because of the very special features within this, they got a competitive advantage to be popular in the world. So likewise, flexibility, right? So once the organization has a very good flexibility to take decisions, to work, to change processes, again, it is an indication for a success. And innovation, as I told you, and quality. Quality is really is a matter when you want to be a successful organization. Siddhalep is also that. Maliban, you see, Maliban still they are focusing at quality. If you take Munchie, they are always focused on innovation, innovative products. But still, there are a lot of people still they stick into Maliban because the focus of Maliban is quality of the products. So they could keep this quality. I showed you this Maliban biscuits video last time with the last video. So from they had the owner of the Maliban biscuits, he had an idea. Okay, I would be doing some biscuits other than the bakery items. He had that in his mind. So he produced quality product. That's how he been popularized. And customer relationship. When you have a very proper customer, a very good customer relationship, of course, you are into success of the life. So normally you can see if you are not focusing very much on this quality customer relationship, think about a small boutique as I told you. Other kattiye godakke, but tomorrow no one will be coming. Right? Customer relationship is very poor. When we go into some small shops, they think we are going to their places as we do not have any place to purchase it. So the customers do not like that. So the customer relationship is really important when it comes to small scale businesses. Then බලන්න සමහර එළවලු කඩවල වලට පළතුරු කඩවල මාළු කඩවල වලට එහෙම යන්න you just go to some fishermen and to what do you call vegetable stalls and fruit stalls in madam in so they have never seen us but the relationship how they create in madam මේක ගන්න අර එහෙම ගන්න මෙතන ගන්න very good service they are trying to give a proper customer relationship then tomorrow also we say අනේ මම මැඩම්ට හින්දා තව රුපියල් 500ක් ඔන්න අඩු කරා so likewise they say ඔන්න මම තව ග්‍රෑම් 200ක් වැඩිපුර දැම්මා මැඩම්ට හින්දා මම අඹ ගෙඩියක් වැඩිපුර දැම්මා that's how they keep the relationship it's really important right to develop a good relationship once the owner is becoming the manager himself it's really easy to do all these tactful activities to keep customers and what are the weaknesses of small businesses what are the weaknesses? Risk of failure. As I told you, there is a huge risk of failure. I will be showing this through in video clip as well. Right? Risk of failure is really high because a lot of people, they do not know how to manage the finance. Udeta you earn, in the morning you earn very well. In the evening, your son is taking all the money outside. Because you do not have proper cash flow statements, you do not have proper profit and loss accounts and all, because of this poor financial management, only most of the organization, they fail. And lack of knowledge, they have lack of knowledge to run a very good business. That's what I told you. Do not watch these YouTube videos and try to start a business. එයා කියන business එක එයාට කරන්න පුළුවන් වුණාට එහෙනම් එයා ඒක කරන්න ඕන. This YouTube has become a business for them, right? Not for you. You have to think what I am skillful in and whether I have the sufficient knowledge to start this business and how am I going to do this in that way. Knowledge, financial issues, and lack of support from maybe family, from government, so a lot of things. The husband hours වෙනකන් කඩේ ඉඳලා වැඩ කරලා ඉන්නකොට wife ගෙදර කෑ ගහනවා. රෑ වෙනකන් ගෙදර ඉන්නවා. ළමයිගේ ඉස්කෝලේ වැඩ බලන්නේ මං විතරද? I am the only one who is going to look after the kids. Why don't you do? I can't do this one anymore. If you stay in the shop, if not, you come home. So likewise, so this would be a huge problematic when it comes to work-life balance also. So again, most of the businesses, they collapse. because of these kind of issues. එකන කියන්නේ අර කොලම්බස් ජීවිතේට රටක් හොයාගන්නේ ඇමරිකාව හොයාගන්නේ නැහැ if he ever had a wife කියලා. Because the wife is going to ask a lot of questions. කොහෙන්ද හම්බුනේ? කවද්ද හම්බුනේ? ඔයා කොහෙද ඉන්නේ? He will never be able to step out of the house. So it's like that. So once the support is very rare, very difficult, it's very difficult to go for a success. So likewise, there are a lot of mental and physical pressures. If you get sick, if you have to shut down your boutique for 5-10 days, the customers would be getting used to use another shop. So they break. So likewise, it's very difficult when it comes to management of these small scale businesses. So therefore, risk of failure is high. Lack of homework, as I told you, lack of homework. It's very difficult to come to a work-life balance. So it is also again would be a problematic weakness. Financial loss, as I told you, and most of the organizations, small scale businesses, they collapse from this business. The problem is not because sometimes they do not have the knowledge about how to do things, but because of the financial loss due to country conditions. Then Gidavaswala last time, people started collecting areca nuts, right? Because areca nuts, and they do some sort of refreshing and everything, and they sell it. So suddenly the economic financial slump we are facing with kapaatama mudale rupiyaleyage aduna, so a lot of problems came. So therefore the people they were not in a position to face for this one, and a lot of financial loss they had to face with, because prediction is really rare when it comes to small businesses. So financial loss and the ability to deal with these credits. ඒකනේ කියන්නේ සමහර කඩවල ගහලම තියෙනවා ණය ඉල්ලා අමනාප නොවන්න, right? So why? When it's too much of credit sales, so it would be very difficult for you to manage. And therefore once you shot with an economic loss, it's very difficult to overcome your condition. Inadequate management. Inadequate management, you do not know what to manage. So normally when you know when you need to do a proper management, you have to have proper planning. In that planning, you should have proper plan, goal, strategies, how we are going to achieve these things, right? Proper organizing, proper leading, and proper control. So this management skill is very rare in a person, or the skill. So again, this can be a reason to collapse. And laws and regulation. Some people, they do not know at least what a law is. Once it is said, okay, if you are running up a business, you have to register your business under a company act, or sort of, or you have to register as a business. Right? Laws and regulations can be there, as well as I told you that now currently the organizational quality, right? So when it comes to quality of the products, definitely you should have a proper quality. So therefore SLS may be recommending, or maybe HSCCP is recommending. So likewise, a lot of for food items especially, laws and regulations are there. I can say digada laws and regulations. So because of a lot of issues and marketing problems, they do not know how to do things, how to promotions to be done, how the advertisements done. Normally when it comes to marketing, we call as the organizations can manage price of a product quality, and product features, and where they are going to sell, place of a product, simply marketing mix we call, and promotional methods. So when they have lack of knowledge about how to do this marketing mix management, the marketing problems can occur. And technology. So most of the small businesses, they do lack with technology. So again, it is a weakness, and they have no money to afford for a good technology. Poor financial management, as I told you, Puda will be taking all the money. So likewise, poor financial management, poor financial document management, they have no idea what to do and how to do. So like that. And let me show you a video clip right now relating to this small strengths and weaknesses of business. Okay, let me show you that. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to show you this.
World. But that doesn't mean you don't have weaknesses. In fact, you can be the best business in the world. But that doesn't mean you don't have weaknesses. In fact, every business has weaknesses. The key is to identify them and then work on fixing them. This video will show you how to identify business weaknesses so that you can start improving your company today. In any business, there are bound to be weaknesses. After all, no company is perfect. However, identifying these weaknesses is critical to the health and success of your business. If you don't know where your weaknesses lie, you can't hope to fix them. So how can you go about identifying business weaknesses? One way is to simply ask your employees. Chances are they have a pretty good idea of where the company could use some improvement. You could also survey your customers and see what they have to say. Another option is to take a close look at your financials. This can give you a good indication of areas where the company might be falling behind. There are many different types of business weaknesses, but they can broadly be classified into 4 main categories: financial, operational, managerial, and competitive. Let's take a closer at each of these. Financial weaknesses are typically related to the company's ability to generate revenue and profit. This could be due to high costs, low prices, or poor financial management. Operational weaknesses can hamper a company's ability to produce goods or services efficiently. This could be due to inefficient processes, outdated technology, or lack of skilled workers. Managerial weaknesses can negatively impact a company's ability to make sound decisions and execute on strategy. This could be due to poor communication, lack of accountability, or poor leadership. Competitive weaknesses are those that put a company at a disadvantage relative to its competitors. This could be due to inferior products, weak branding, or a lack of market share. No business is perfect, and every company has its own set of weaknesses. Some businesses are great at marketing but terrible at customer service, while others excel at product development but struggle with sales. The first step to addressing your business weakness is to identify them. Take a close look at your operations and compare them to your competitors. Are you losing customers because your prices are too high? Is your website hard to navigate? Do you have a high employee turnover rate? Once you know what your weaknesses are, you can start taking steps to improve them. If you are losing customers because of poor customer service, for example, you can invest in training for your employees. If your website is hard to navigate, you can hire a web designer to make it more user-friendly. And if you have a high employee turnover rate, you can offer more attractive benefits and perks to keep your employees happy. By identifying your weaknesses and taking steps to improve them, you'll be able to better serve your customers and grow your business.
So, you're an entrepreneur, and you're ready to start pitching your
Okay, then so I just wanted to give you some overview, right? So about this one and what you call strengths and weaknesses of a business. And we will be moving right now, challenges of small businesses. What are the challenges of small businesses? So, it's very difficult to survive as a small business because even you think about yourself, when you start doing something, all the people are being barriers for you. It's very similar for these businesses also. All the other competition, all the other businesses, they are becoming a barrier for the organization. So it becomes more challenging to survive, right, for small scale businesses. So serving a well-defined market. So you need to find a well-defined market. To whom am I going to serve this product? Unless you do not have that in your mind, it's very difficult to cater for the whole market. And you do not know which features to be added. That's for an example. If you want to cater for a lower income people, very, very poor people, let's say very lower income people, you are manufacturing some soap for a lower price, right? So so the lower price, so the quality is low. but you think, okay, we need to come up with a beautiful package. So the package will add additional cost. So likewise, you are not going, you will be facing with all these problems later on if you do not have a proper knowledge about what is the well market that you're going to serve. So serving a well-defined market is important. And acquiring sufficient capital is also important, because you need to have sufficient money in your hand to invest in. Acquiring and using human resources, again, it is very challenging to get talented people to your organization, right? Therefore, there, because you do not have the ability to pay them, again, it is a challenge. And staying informed, you need to stay informed about all the changes in the world, all the changes in technology. You have to be updated. Otherwise, again, you will be just an obsolete product. Obsolete යල් පැනගිය කල් expire වෙච්ච expire නෙමෙයි අත්තරේකට කියන්නේ අපි වචනයෙන් obsolete කියන්නේ යල් පැනගිය. Then we are not going to wear the dresses what our archies have been worn. So likewise, and managerial know-how, the management should know what am I going to do and how we are going to do that thing. Time management is really important, right? How we are going to manage the time. That's what I told you. Work-life balance also will be matter when it comes to this. Coping with government regulations. So you always need to adhere for the government regulations if you want to be a successful organization. And what are the opportunities for small businesses? Technology. Once a new technology comes, you can adhere into that. May not be that technology is very expensive. You can use it and you can do things nicely. Knowledge, right? The knowledge that you get. Most of the people, they work in foreign countries and they start up here as bakers. They have been working in some bakeries in foreign countries. So the knowledge that they get, it is an opportunity. Women and ethnic groups, right? Most of the women and ethnic groups now, the people who are staying at homes, these women, they start doing small scale businesses. That's the way how I showed you that we have bands, wool bands manufacturing. So that is an opportunity. Occupational and industry shifts. So occupational and industry shifts also brings to become create more small businesses. So you can say a lot of people are into these small businesses because there are no proper occupations available in the industry. So likewise, so what is the importance of small business in Sri Lankan economy? Economic backbone. What do you mean by backbone? Backbone, you know, backbone, right? Pitakonda wage. That's what I told you. This is providing a very good opportunities and giving a lot of contribution for GDP. So it's acting as the economic backbone for the country. Employment creation, as I told you, it creates employment. It creates entrepreneurship development. Entrepreneurs are created within these businesses. And complementary, as I told you, they work as a complementary businesses, right? That cinnamon, small businessmen, they help into work as a complementary business. And at last, these things will be leading to exports, as I explained earlier. Problems of small business in Sri Lanka. Before moving into this one, I just want to show you another video clip on challenges of these businesses. Let me bring it to you right now. You can watch it, okay? now we will see what are the what are the problems of small businesses in Sri Lanka, right? So what are the problems now? Specifically, as I told you, when it comes to examination questions, also I will be more focused on Sri Lankan context and the small businesses. That's what I'm bringing you a lot of videos also, so you can take them as examples for your exams also, or any other example what you prefer. No worry at all. Okay. So what are the problems? Management, as I told you, management, employees, whether we can get knowledgeable employees for these businesses, technology, market is a problem. Now you see most of the people, they say, now look at, we have a lot of coconuts, we have a lot of gem, but there is no good market for these things. So again, it would be problematic. Even though we have resources, even though people can do things, less market. The people who are purchasing from creation of this clay and all these, what you call coconut husks and all, very lower market we do have. And they do not have the capacity to export all these things also. So likewise. And finance issues, information problem. Most of the small businesses, they do not know to whom we are going to sell these products and how we can be successful. A lot of government policies, strategic alliances. Strategic alliances, what do you mean by? There are some organizations, large scale businesses, they have strategic alliance. This business and that business conglomerate, they get together, they combine and do business. So the small businesses who are trying to stand alone, it's very difficult to fight with these strategic alliances, right? Groups දෙකක් එකට එකතු වෙලා strategically they being aligned. So it's very difficult for the small business to fight. Sickness means sick with everything, not maybe physically sick, maybe mentally sick, and maybe sick of all these challenges, right? And reasons for survival of small businesses in Sri Lanka. Why still the reasons for survival, why we need these businesses in Sri Lanka? Because a large number of organizations, they can come as small businesses, very simple to start, as we tell, no more big rules and regulations, very simple. Market, you can capture the market, and flexibility, quality, and with a very less quality also you can start up the businesses. Interrelationship with customers. Now me as a, so me as a person who is in the village, I am very popular in this village. So if I start up a business, because of the interrelationship, I would be able to come up, bring more things. And state patronage, right? State patronage means in the state, in the area that you are in. So you, as I said, you are popular, you are helpful with others, so they also will be helping. And low operating costs. So you do not want a lot of money to go for huge operations because of low operating cost. Okay, so now I believe we have covered the introduction topic. So we will be moving with the next session. So still then, study well and be ready for the examinations also. Thank you very much.